Welcome back. This is an emergency podcast, our second emergency podcast. The emergency podcast of like I don't know, man. Like, yo,
this is the biggest emergency we've had.
Listen, before we get into it, I'm Meals. If you haven't heard of me, we got the Platinum Chanel boy Jeff himself. Yeah.
What's up, guys?
And we have a guest on the line representing Looking Glass. He is he's Xavier. He is, where can they follow you on Twitter? Black Ice?
At Black Ice 392. My friends call me X. Other people call me Henny. I really don't care anymore.
Henny is such a
like, because my display name was like Hen Balor or like Hensuke Nakamura for like 2 years straight. Sure. So like niggas just call me Henny before they actually learn my name. So if you want to call me Henny, that's cool with me. You know what I'm saying? I don't care anymore.
Listen, we calling you X because X feels like X. Dragon Ball.
Yeah, X is very short and sweet. So
it feels like it sounds like some renegade shit.
It does. Well, listen, this entire trailer,
X, yeah.
And this entire trailer is some renegade shit. Quite honest with you,
for real.
This entire thing. First of all, it was the way it's released. We're having an emergency podcast because the second trailer for the Dragon Ball Super Broly movie has come out. It's essentially leaked.
Because
it's not officially been released. When we did our first emergency podcast, it was because it officially released. We had, 1080p, visuals. I mean, I'm sure Jeff is like threw that up on the big screen and just watching it on surround sound, whatever,
Absolutely.
Like, this bitch not even on Funimation's YouTube channel.
Yeah, it's not. It's going to happen. They're going to put it up real soon. I just think it leaked because of
New York Comic Con.
New York Comic Con, exactly. So the real trailer, if it's not out by the time you guys hear this, I'm not sure. But,
yeah, because like the last time they dropped the trailer, like the sub one came out first and the dub one came like an hour later.
Right. Yep. So New York Comic Con is this weekend in New York City. If you have your tickets, shout out to you. If you don't have tickets like me, whatever.
Keep your tweet alerts on. Keep your motherfucking tweet alerts on.
That's all I really got to say. I mean, New York Comic Con is a very fun time. I believe, every year I see people on the train. They're dressed up. They're doing all kinds of crazy stuff. Everyone has a great time. I think it's becoming a lot more, I think just because of social media, like that sort of anime, Comic-Con, comics thing are becoming a little bit more mainstream than it used to be.
I feel like nerd culture in general is coming like mainstream culture, especially with like Marvel movies being the biggest shit in the world,
social media changed Dragon Ball and their brand and how they promote because everything else changed after that. People connected and watching the show all at once, even if it was us getting the sub all Sunday night at the same time. We were still talking about it the next day.
Even like the jokes we made and shit has made it into like Dragon Ball fucking episodes.
Right, sure. Pretty much. I remember I was writing an episode for Complex. And I pitched this thing to them, and
slight flex.
I was writing this for Complex, and I pitched something to them, and they were. I don't know if they turned it down or the lady just said it wasn't my jurisdiction. But I was like, yo, y'all should have Complex Nerd because you have Complex Live, you have Complex Sports, you have Complex Music. I was like, why don't you do Complex Nerd? I'm sure they're gonna, eventually. I feel like they're eventually gonna do it. I'm just saying, if they do it, just know from this podcast. I pitched it to them a long ass time ago, and they should 100% do it.
Hey, they can go for it. I would suggest putting somebody real behind it. If they
100%. I mean, nerd culture is real. Like, for instance, like Pokemon's having a renaissance, Dragon Ball's having a renaissance. There's the My Hero Academia movie, which
did like 5 million last weekend, by the way. So
just off the 7 days it was in theater, and it wasn't even in the full 7 days. It was like in for like 5 of those 7 days, and just
that shit was wild, dog. That like anime, like I feel like that's gonna be like the end of like limited release anime movies because them shit's getting full theatrical runs after that.
We'll see, man. I'm not really I'm not holding my breath for that. I just feel like until they can Americanize it properly.
I feel like until they make like big money, because there hasn't been.
They got Gundam. Gundam is going in theaters probably in like 2-3 years.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. Alita, Battle Angel is one of my favorite.
That shit's coming out, I think, next year.
But I don't know how it's gonna do. So it kind of depends. You know what I mean?
I feel like fire truck. Just gotta let it rock.
Gotta let it rock. It's New York, baby.
It's New York. And just hope it's not pulling up by the crib.
Right.
No, but that entire thing, I think anime culture is just becoming so huge now, and New York Comic Con is. I mean, just with this trailer release alone, it's really just like it's becoming huge.
Look, man, I want to talk about this trailer.
Well, all right, so let's get to the. We got.
Talk about this trailer.
Let's knock one more thing out, because one more set of news that come out since we've done this the last time is that Dragon Ball Super movie has a release date for the United States. It has a release date of January 16th. I don't know who plotted January 16th. I don't know who's thinking of January 16th. I don't know if they think I'm going to wait to see it on January 16th. I mean, I probably will see it again.
I'll definitely see it in theaters. I'll see it way before that.
Man, can I shout out Quanflix right quick?
Please.
I'll catch that shit on. I'll catch that shit on Quanflix way before that.
Please, shout out to Quanflix, man. I mean, also a supporter of the podcast and a supporter of just sharing it and that sort of culture.
Big shout out Quan, man. Big shout out Quan.
Big shout out to him, man. Listen, we got the damn. It must be around my way.
Hard. They know we about to talk about this.
You know why? Emergency pod, and the fire truck had to roll up. It's heat. Nah,
it's crazy.
Though. I really.
And also, 17 and Cooler came out in Fighters as well. So they're really fun to play with. Yeah, they're pretty fun to play.
I mean, and wait, y'all talk about Evo because Sonic Fox beat the shit out of everybody at Evo.
Oh yeah,
not necessarily, but that's true.
We talked about Evo a couple episodes ago, but it's I mean, we've got Cooler, we've got 17. I mean, those are two, or at least 17 is someone people anticipated huge.
Especially Cooler's a beast, bro.
Really?
Yeah, he's a beast.
Oh my god,
Cooler is crazy in that game. Like motherfuckers is going crazy with him. That shit's wild.
Oh my god! All right,
I get scared whenever I see a nigga online, dog. They always makes my ass with that nigga. That shit is crazy.
Oh my god! We also have rumors. We're getting this out the way. We're getting out this way. There's rumors previously of Gogeta.
Okay, yeah. I mean,
in this movie,
appearing in Dragon Ball Super. What do you guys? think?
If we're not getting Ultra Instinct to beat Broly, that's pretty much the only other way.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure. I have other rumors. I mean, I have other theories, but yeah, I'm pretty sure if it's not Ultra Instinct, which I don't think it is. I don't think Ultra Instinct is in this film at all. I don't think we'll see Ultra Instinct again until
for a while, until the next Super Series.
Yeah, I'd say until maybe Goku and Frieza have some type of, their next spout.
Right, and it needs to be a major threat.
Yeah, it would. Yeah. I think I do. I believe that. And do I think it's Gogeta? It's hard to I feel like they want us to they want us to think it's Gogeta, but I think it is Gogeta. And because he's also coming to Fighters, apparently.
Gogeta is?
From data mining, apparently Gogeta is going to be, I don't know if it's a season 2 DLC or what. But
shit.
And I think because of that, and we don't have a super model for him technically, he's technically not, I mean,
he's not even canon technically.
He's not even canon. So. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. So I wouldn't be surprised. They've done all this, which we're about to talk about with this trailer. So I at this point, I'm inclined to believe it because I think I said last season about Goku's mom potentially being in this film, and I was right.
You're right.
I just want to put that out there. I was right, but I'm not sure. Gogeta would be great. I hope he's in the film because
I think that would be
cool.
It's something up the sleeve because granted from this trailer, the second trailer, and how much they've actually given us and how much they've essentially laid the table out for what happens, I think they definitely need something up their sleeve that they're not doing yet.
I mean, if they're making fucking Broly canon, why not make Gogeta canon?
Absolutely.
Especially with Super. Ever since Super came back, it's been a giant exercise in fan service. So why the fuck not make Gogeta canon?
Got to. All
right. So you know what? We're here, Jeff. We're here. We're going to talk about the trailer of this.
Yeah.
Talk about the trailer because it's a lot of this. I
have so many thoughts.
This is the trailer, and it hasn't showed the first trailer we saw. We really got to see Broly, the debut of Broly, him in action, the levels, the hair, the changes, everything that happens. Once we see the second trailer, you see a lot of things have changed, and a lot of things. We thought a lot of things changed before in terms of just Broly becoming canon and the way he's
they've pretty much dead ass almost completely retconned the whole origin.
I mean, I wouldn't say they retconned it, but they definitely altered it to a way.
It's just being made to make sure that they fit the story properly, and the only way they can make this work is if they go way back, and flip some stuff, which is I think why we're getting this, and it makes sense. They're taking the best of both worlds, and I think they're just gonna put it all together. Which a few seconds in watching this trailer, depending on how deep you are in a Dragon Ball, you realize that there's some similarities between Dragon Ball Minus, which is like a one.
It's like a one shot.
12 chapters. Yeah, like it's just a whole nother sub series, which is basically, I think it was. I forget how many years before Dragon Ball.
4 years ago.
This happened. This came
10 years,
out
10 years. Minus is 10 years before Dragon Ball.
Right. This came out in 2014. If you have not watched, if you have not read Dragon Ball Minus, I suggest you look at it. I'm looking at an English copy right here. But in terms of the trailer, I mean, the Dragon Ball Minus has essentially, when people talk about it on Twitter, because we've seen on Twitter themselves, I mean, we're excited about doing this emergency podcast. I think other people are excited. Other people are questioning, like, hey, didn't Goku come as a baby? Here he's a toddler.
He's like 3 in Minus. He's like 3 when they send him off, right?
Right. Or no, I think he's like,
he's 3. He's 3. He's inside of
right.
Well, let's go through the trailer. Let's go through the trailer, because as we hit the trailer,
we'll talk about
things. Yeah.
Right. So let's pull up the trailer. Hold on. Okay, I got it on Dailymotion here.
What was the first thing? The first thing that I popped for was Ginyu Force.
Okay.
Oh, Ginyu Force.
Okay, let's start there.
Let's start there. All right. Let's start there.
They're the first people you see.
Well, we see a whole bunch
Zarbon,
of
we see Dodoria.
Zarbon, Dodoria, and this is the first time that we really kind of see, outside of the actual Z anime, we kind of get a background on, the Frieza Force, or essentially Dodoria, Zarbon, the Ginyu Force, everyone who appeared in Z and had sort of a major sort of mini arc. This is the first time we actually see them, and this occurs 10 years before Dragon Ball Z, and probably 13 years before anything happened. So we kind of get a history of their association with Frieza, their association with eventually King Cold, the planets, everything like that. So
and based off the timeline, if depending on how deep they are taking in Minus, it says that Minus was 10 years before Dragon Ball started. So
before Dragon Ball,
yes, before Dragon Ball started.
So that's way back. That puts Goku at 13 when Dragon Ball starts then?
Probably around that. Yeah.
So he's around, listen, the Dragon Ball, back and forth about, what time things happen.
Yeah, it's hard to...
It's really hard to put shit together.
Well, this movie's going to wreck that. It's going to wreck a lot of stuff, because I know people are seeing Goku as a 3-4-year-old. In this trailer with armor on, and people are confused. But when we get to the part when we see Goku and his parents, I'm gonna try to lay something out.
All right.
So
bet. We see the entire thing. The Frieza Force is heavy, and Frieza himself looks different, which is something that we have to touch on, because this is the first time we're seeing a young Frieza.
This is the first time I think we've seen Frieza without the armor, ever.
I think so. My guess is, what? They have their own Frieza Force kind of, armor and things like that as well. But beyond that, this is the first time we see a young Frieza.
Yes.
This is
Frieza. He's going through some preteen phase. He's just whenever Frieza. Right. And in that scene, he's there. He's in front of an audience of Saiyan warriors on their knee, basically. And the next scene coming up is that when King Vegeta comes up and he looks absolutely terrified,
right? Because King Cold
just walks up.
It just walked up, and this is the first time we even seen King Cold. I mean, King Cold himself has about entire of Dragon Ball. I mean, he shows up
like 20 minutes.
Yeah,
I think we're gonna get a lot of that King Cole Frieza dialogue from the future Trunks little that little spark right there. I think we're gonna get more dialogue from that in this. Especially look at King Vegeta's face, man.
Right.
Well, he looks terrified.
I think King Cold helps give Frieza himself context, because when you think of how Frieza became the ruthless sort of warrior he is, you probably look at his father, King Cold, and it's just he was a ruler, a strong, ruler and force of the universe. And then here's his son, who's just like has no couth, has no technical. He's been just grown up with like a silver spoon in his mouth.
He's really just like a little evil motherfucker, man.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. He's probably way worse as a young kid than he is as an adult. But the fact that they're scaling him properly and giving him somewhat of a age, an age it's just dope to me. Because if you guys go back, you go back to when he was about to blow up, when he was blowing up Planet Vegeta in the OG version, he was basically a grown man.
He was the same. Yeah. He was on Namek, quite honestly.
Yeah. So this has changed.
Let's see. Let's go through the clip. You see Goku in a test tube, or Goku. I don't want to say test tube. Maybe it's like a healing.
It's like an incubation.
It's incubator. It's incubator. Yeah,
it's an incubator, because I don't want to call Goku a test tube.
I believe they stay in until they're 5. But I think he was taken out early, which
changes. I mean, that's still a massive change from what happened. In the regular anime, because we see Goku was shipped off as a baby.
Yeah, his ass was fresh out the womb. They threw him to Earth.
Like he was shipped off a baby, and he lands on Earth. I mean, I don't even know if they initially planned for him to go to Earth.
No, we'll find out.
Version.
Yeah, we'll find out.
Like, didn't Bardock ship his ass to Earth? He had like a bad feeling about Frieza or something before.
Yeah, I mean it's.
No, I mean
that was.
The original version says they shipped him off to Earth to like conquer Earth. Like he was supposed. He had a mission. This is why things have kind of like twist, because if we're going off minus based off some of this information that we got, and the clips are matching this manga, like it matches
panel for panel.
Pretty well. So honestly, I just think that they're going to just sweeten up the story and make it to where they can have some character development within Planet Vegeta. I mean, that's really all this is about, I think, because before it was kind of fed to us very slim. We knew the reasons because of Frieza.
It looks like it's going to be like 4 different character arcs, kind of, with like Goku like getting shipped off to be the savior. You got Vegeta being the renegade he is. You got Broly being like not the mindless brute, because like it seems like before in his earlier version, his ass was just like this timid little dude, and then he turned to a big hulking monster. Yeah. It's not like this one. He looks like an asshole the entire time, which I'm cool with.
I'm curious. Well, this time there's no connection between him and Goku.
Yeah.
So that's what I'm saying. It's different. It's different. I mean, what can I say? That's why it's so exciting. It's just it literally shuts down a lot of old things that happen, kind of. And I guess they're trying to retell the story a little bit, but still keep it in good faith to the series.
Yeah, that makes sense to me. It just I really like how they're not making Broly like kind of like just mindless anymore. Like he actually has like some motivation. He has a reason. Right. Yeah. Like I don't like as cool as Broly was when I was a kid and whatnot. I just never fucked with like the only words he's saying is Kakarot. Like give this nigga get some dialogue. Like can he say something else besides Kakarot? Like, we get it. You hate this nigga.
Right.
Be about something else.
Listen. Oh my God.
It's a lot. It's a lot.
It's essentially recalibrating your mind for a completely different story. I mean,
but they're still it's very. I really just let's just get. I want to because there's so many things in Minus that I want to touch on.
Right. So
it will make more sense when when we can tell the story.
So let's get to it, because the next one we see Broly up and he's there. We see Planet Vegeta. We see King Vegeta, and then we see Vegeta in an incubator as well. And this weren't really one of the first times outside of just various flashbacks. And usually Vegeta's flashbacks in the Dragon Ball Z anime have to deal with his his father essentially being killed by Frieza,
right,
and him having to essentially just stomach it and have to deal with it, and just have to, because he knows Frieza is ultimately like a million times stronger than he is. There's no real retaliation. He just has to work under Frieza until he can, the day
hopefully
comes.
Kill him one day.
Right. So he's the one who essentially wants to, get vengeance for his Saiyan, the demise of the Saiyans at Frieza's hands. But we see a young Vegeta in the incubator, and we see Paragus as well. Probably the father of another Saiyan known as Broly. And
interesting scene showing Vegeta. I think they're trying to throw people off with showing Vegeta in the incubator, trying to flip the trailer towards him and Goku kind of being around each other. But if they're going based off Minus, then Vegeta is a bit older. He's already gone.
Right. Yeah, but he is like 3 years older than Goku, something like that.
Yeah, he's gone. And he would be training with Raditz at this point in time.
Oh,
if they go off Minus, because yes, yeah.
We see Broly. We see Broly for a minute. He's coming out of a pod or something.
Not in an incubator.
Yeah,
keep that in mind.
It looks like a pod.
It's just a little Saiyan pod.
And then we got our first look at Bardock and Frieza face to face.
Yeah.
Or at least back
looking just like Goku and Frieza.
Yeah, looking back to face, and it's I don't know if Frieza, fully knows who Bardock is at this point, but Bardock surely knows who Frieza is. And I think at this point now we can get into the sort of Dragon Ball Minus and how that comes into play, because Dragon Ball Minus has essentially it's become canon. At first, I think it was just really just fan service and sort of interpreting things a different way, because I mean they've done it in the past. It's
just a bunch of history we didn't have. So they're here it is in manga.
That's more like to the lore of Dragon Ball.
Right. I felt like at the time it was fan service just because they also released that Bardock movie that kind of be fan service too. When instead of him dying at the hands of the planet, he goes back in time and he becomes the legendary Super Saiyan in a different universe, or blah,
he
blah,
beats
blah.
like Frieza's ancestor or some shit like that,
right? Or something along those lines. And then maybe that's another timeline that we needed to talk about during that, Android saga.
What was his motherfucking ancestor's name? Colder or some shit?
No, it was probably
warm. The fuck?
It was something weird, but just Dragon Ball Minus. I know Jeff has read this. Talk about Dragon Ball Minus, Jeff.
Yeah, I read Minus.
It came out 4 years ago.
Yeah, I probably read it about 2.
Mm-hmm.
So basically, it's just telling of what happened 30 days before Planet Vegeta blew up. All in all, Bardock is Frieza basically lets out this alert to his Saiyan army saying, "Look, I need y'all to come back to Planet Vegeta." He doesn't tell him why. He's just like, "Yo, just get back here right away." And then they basically cut to, Bardock heading
suspicious.
back.
He's suspicious.
He's like, all right.
This shit don't make sense.
It don't make sense, but
shit not adding up.
Yeah, he's like, I'll pull up. So he pulls up, he gets off the ship. His, more saying, some of his Saiyan homies are like, yo, I'm hearing rumors about Super Saiyan God, Super Saiyan, he's like, I don't know what that is, but Frieza can't be, he knows Frieza's up to something.
Can we pause right there?
Yes.
Because the Super Saiyan God reference, or Super Saiyan God reference, is a big reference. That also kind of, we talked about it retconning what happened before. It kind of definitely changes everything that we know about it, because
it makes it bigger.
It does.
Before it was just Frieza was just scared one of them was going to be stronger than him one day. Now it goes to Beerus low key telling Frieza to kill all of them because of the Super Saiyan God rumor. Later,
and we're going to get to that. We're going to even get to that because I think that movie the conclusion to that may come in this movie. The secret between Beerus and Frieza and why he was allowed to blow up Planet Vegeta, blah, 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 all that fun stuff. I think that could come, at least if it doesn't happen in this movie, it's going to happen, when Super starts and some part of something.
I have a theory that maybe Beerus is just like the massive destruction of the universe, and he's just like, I think he does eventually. I don't know. I'm still trying to figure out why Beerus would warn Frieza.
I don't know, but I really think we're gonna find out.
Like, why would he warn Frieza about Super Saiyan unless he was afraid of Super Saiyan God? That's kind of what they.
That's what I get. Yeah, that's the sense that I get. I feel the same way.
But I don't know. Destroyers aren't necessarily supposed to do that, but you know,
I feel like he didn't. I feel like he didn't fear one Super Saiyan God. He feared like a race of Super Saiyan gods.
Maybe. I mean, there was a whole planet of untapped potential. Honestly,
yeah, like right? So, like Goku didn't get like push him to like his fullest extent or whatever. But like Goku gave him like some sort of a fit. Like imagine a whole race of the motherfuckers standing up to Beerus. They would be unstoppable.
That's true. Because remember, they have the if they sense that can be anything going on with this planet, he has the right to blow it up. Mm-hmm. And he, instead of him doing it, I guess he appointed Frieza to. But still, there has to be some kind of connection because Frieza, that was still his army. At the end of the day. So Frieza had to have some kind of fear. It can't just be all Beerus. You know what I'm saying?
You know what? But it's weird because at that point, Super Saiyans hadn't been like something would have had to happen to Frieza.
He's had to see one. One of them's had to see one.
It's either King Cold, but King Cold.
Maybe like
I don't know. Maybe if King Cold.
Maybe like Bardock killing his ancestor. Maybe like he has some siblings or some shit and it just got passed down generation to generation.
But I don't know if that's canon anymore. I
don't know if it is either.
It might be because Beerus at some point visits Frieza for whatever reason and tells him about this Super Saiyan or this just the potential of, because Beerus is the only one that's been around for eons, like you know, millions and millions of years. Like he's the one who can say like, listen. These guys have, and I don't know if it comes from a malicious standpoint of how he's saying it.
Right.
But
hey, does he at this point we also got a question, how long for what reason does he have Broad? And for what like how long has he had them?
Right.
Because if he maybe he knows about it because he already knows what Broly is. And he's like, I'll keep this one under wraps and under control, but I'm gonna destroy the rest of these fools. I mean, I don't know how long has he? There's no clip of Broly in an incubator. Has there been yet?
No, but I'm sure he'll be in one. I feel like he might be, because the reason why is because I know they're depicting Paragus as a tragedy character. At least that's sort of all the news that's come out.
He looks like an outcast. Like he's
you know
what I mean?
That's what it seems like. So maybe it's like, we've been ordered to kill his son because Frieza wants his son killed because he, you know, they sense the power level and how strong that kid is just from the mirror, and he just wants him dead. And maybe that snowballs into it.
I still think he's related to somebody on Sadala, but that's just my opinion. I'm gonna keep that going until it comes to truth.
I mean,
he's too tan, bro. He's too tan, bro. He's too tan.
Listen, all different shades of Saiyans, my guy. Come on, it's a wide planet.
I know. Okay. So check this out. Minus, right?
All right.
I love Minus, guys. So, I just like character development and backstory when you know, you get more characters or characters that's always been there, but you just didn't know who they were.
Right.
That's what makes this so exciting. So,
Word.
So Bardock is back on planet Vegeta. He's talking to some of his homies about this so-called Super Saiyan God, Super Saiyan. He's basically suspicious of Frieza and what he might do with this knowledge or knowing of this knowledge. And he runs into his wife, which I don't know her dub name yet. We're gonna go with Jine. We're not sure which one. Goku's mom.
Jine sounds flagrant, so I kind of want to say
it does sound flagrant. So we'll just call her Jean. We'll call her Jean.
I want to call her Jean because I don't want to call her Jine because I would look at Dragon Ball sideways if her name was Jine.
Hey, so Jean, right? So Jean is Goku's mother. For the first time, we see Goku's mother canon in anime.
Mm-hmm. We also see Vegeta and Raditz as kids.
You do see. I hope that scene is in the movie. It's perfect that they leave it out. I think it makes sense considering I quite don't know Vegeta's timeline yet. So
right.
They may I don't know, but yeah, Vegeta and Raditz are training together. So Raditz looks like he's maybe like 5 or 6 or so. I don't know how. I don't want to guess his age, but
he's got to be a couple years older than Goku. That's
right. So
he's his older brother. Yeah,
his older brother. So Gene and Bardock are talking, and basically they want to go see Goku. He's asking how Goku's grown. Bardock's been gone. He's been on his his war path for Frieza, killing aliens. Yeah, he's out here, getting it done, making the
slaughtering
money.
Everybody and anybody.
Exactly.
Maybe a little cheating. I don't know.
Right. Whatever. Now the same. You already know the same scene. The same scene that we saw in this trailer is also in Minus, where they're kind of looking at the glass. I think Gene makes a joke about him looking just like Bardock, and Bardock's like he hasn't grown a bit or anything, just
right. He's got your distinct hair.
Right. So basically, I think Gene says he's been in there for 3 years. It's almost time for him to come out. But I don't know if they pull him out early. I don't know if.
Well, you said
pull him out early. They definitely pull him out early because
okay.
He says Frieza's up to something. I sense the presence of death.
Yeah.
So Bardock originally sensed something's up, like something's
gotta go.
Frieza guy. So they take somewhere at night they take out Goku and they stick him in the same pod.
They steal a pod to do it. Yeah.
Now the cool thing is that there is some dialogue between Bardock and Gene and Goku, that's the stuff that like we never really knew about, right? It's like, okay, so I don't want to say Kakarot had a relationship with his parents, but he knew who they were at that very moment, but there was no real tie because he's been growing.
And this is something that's like cool in terms of just the movie aspect. This is some cool cinematic shit because this is some shit that they do in the Marvel universe and all sort of universes in terms of just taking an entire story of what from like comics, books, manga, anime, blah, blah, and then adding layers to it by going back and developing the story from there is just something that's just like this is why this is the movie, right?
Yes, and it just makes so much sense. Like the scene where they got their hands on the pod and it's just they took it straight from Minus. I mean, you guys have seen the pictures I'm sure already.
Straight pulled. It really.
Right.
Which is why I think Minus is so important, because clearly if you want to know more about this upcoming movie, you should probably go and read Minus.
Yeah, it'll take you like all of 5 minutes.
It's not
long.
Yeah. So he sends Goku off, which is, again, as we stated, completely different from what it was originally, because he sends Goku off to Earth for his safety in this one.
Yeah, and before they send him off for like a mission to like conquer Earth.
Right. So
this Bardock's a little bit more emotional than the one that we knew. He's because even in
but he still has that same pride.
Of course. Even in mine is Gene. She's like, it's not like Saiyan warriors to care about their kids. Like, you know what I mean? It's just like that's funny considering how Goku is, today, but. This still his dad, but he was doing what was isn't that crazy? But he was doing what was right for his kid at the time, and there's some kind of role as well with we don't have a lot of dialogue with women Saiyans from Planet Vegeta, but we see Goku's mom basically what she is. That statement kind of tells me, okay, boys are meant to be in the military and be warriors, and then the women are doing whatever. But there's also women soldiers there too.
Right.
Exactly.
So I don't know. Gene has a different backstory. She was like demoted from military. Little fact. And also, I'm not gonna save it for later. Also, nobody technically seen her die. I just want to put that out there. But let's keep this moving.
I mean, it's implied they all died.
It's implied.
They say it was all a short while later that the planet Vegeta was vaporized along with the many Saiyans there, and so the Saiyan child, who will later be known as Son Goku, headed towards Earth. So that sort of we get that. We've seen
Bardock die, man. We've seen Bardock die.
We've seen Bardock die a million times. It's one of the most seminal moments in Dragon Ball Z history. That kind of like
it's one of the iconic moments of Dragon Ball history.
Right, because he dies, renegade till the end and sent to feel like he's out. I don't know how he breathed in space, but he is. But he's out there and he tries to, go against Frieza, and Frieza just says, no, finger giant thing. Oh, we're blowing it up. Yeah. But we get kind of like what they leave out of Dragon Ball Minus, they depict in this movie, because we see Frieza's, standing there, and he's in the pod. Well, actually, hold on. Before we hit that, we get clips of little Vegeta. He looks like he's on that planet. I mean, you might be right.
Yeah, I might be. I know, that'd be awesome. I want to see him and Raditz. Some cool dialogue between him.
I wonder if we'll see Nappa in this movie.
Yeah, Mills was saying that before we started the show as well.
I mean, we got to see Nappa. Nappa is at least
But Nappa. Remember, Vegeta started training with Nappa when he was a little older.
Right. So maybe
Nappa.
I
don't know if we're going to see Nappa. Nappa's probably already
comes later.
Nappa had hair.
Yeah, he's probably you know what? He was probably like a double agent for Frieza.
Yeah, like I don't know if we'll see some Nappa, but
that would be an interesting story just in terms of just like a double agent for Frieza. Maybe Vegeta always secretly knows, but is standing around him because he's a Saiyan, and that's why he didn't really flinch to kill him in Dragon Ball Z. I don't know.
My favorite clip is the next clip. Right after that. Right after you see Vegeta with a dead hand behind him.
And then you see, Broly emerging out of the pod.
Some alien.
Eating some alien. I mean, he's emerging out of... This to me shows that they're not... Both of them are just not on the planet.
Yeah, no, they're not. They're definitely not on the planet.
Yeah, because they sent his ass right before it happened.
Right. So it might be... I don't know how Paragus survived.
Okay. So Vegeta and Raditz decide not to go back right away.
They said fuck it. They pretty much just said.
And Minus, they were like, we'll go back when we want to. Basically, is what they said.
Basically, he might have overheard.
But it's weird because Frieza said it. Well, I don't know if Frieza said it, but it was going to take 30 days to get all the Saiyans to come back. That's why they had 30 days.
Right.
So I don't know if, I guess Raditz and Vegeta really weren't coming back. They were like, nah, we ain't coming back.
Well, I don't think. 30 days. Do you think? I don't even think Frieza waited the entire 30 days.
No, didn't he say
had to because he wanted?
No, didn't he say he ain't gonna wait that long? I think he dead ass said that.
He said that he didn't want to wait that long. I feel like he said it in Minus that he didn't want to wait that long. He says, it says, and we get a in Dragon Ball Minus you get what's his name? One of the new characters from the movie.
You talking about
what's his
name? You're
not
talking about Galactic Patrol stuff.
Yeah. I'm talking about that guy.
Oh, Jocko?
Jocko?
Yeah.
No, it's not Jocko.
Jocko's already in Super. Yeah.
It's what's his face? It is I'm looking for his name. Kikino. He's the guy. He's essentially
yeah.
The yellow dude. So
yeah.
He's essentially talking to him, and he's saying, like, listen, it's a pity that the Saiyans make good combatants, blah, 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 blah. He's like, most of them should return in another month or so, but it will probably take a little bit longer for everyone to come back. And he says, I can't wait that long. We need to execute our plans in a month's time. All right, so you're right. 30 days.
All right.
Yeah.
30 days. So we see...
Because he didn't want to leave anybody behind.
Right.
Because he wanted to destroy everybody at once.
Yeah, so, one fell swoop.
We get the major clip. It's all CGI'd up. It's a big budget, big budget destruction, big budget genocide. Frieza essentially having his way, and he destroys Planet Vegeta. I mean, it goes through, and that's the end of the trailer. Besides us getting back to what happens,
present time,
right, with Vegeta, Goku, and Broly, and that's kind of the trailer right then. But it's just
it's cool, man.
I cannot wait to see this fucking movie CGI, bro. I cannot wait for that shit.
The crazy thing about it is, I think we're gonna get so much more information when Super starts again, and they have to map it out for the saga. And there's gonna be some things that we didn't get in the actual film, so that's also really exciting.
I wonder if Broly's gonna become like a normal part of Super.
I thought about that too. I'm not sure how they spin that.
I don't know. It might depend.
I prefer he die.
I think because we definitely might get I don't know if we get as much sequels that we had before, or they should do that because we
really
get
weird.
Broly
Is he gonna
back.
die or not?
We get Bio Broly.
They killed Frieza and brought him back, so I don't see why now. Even if they killed Broly, I don't see why now they couldn't bring him back
because he's canon now. At least,
yeah, like death doesn't fucking matter in Dragon Ball.
But listen, if we bring Broly back, is he back as not necessarily a Z warrior, but is he a good guy? Is he face or is he heel?
I mean, it all depends on his motivations, right?
He needs to come back. He needs to come back face, and he needs to take over Sadala.
His motivations for coming to Earth is, I mean, at this point, what does he have against Goku and Vegeta? That's kind of like
his father. It's his father. From what we know, it's his father.
From what we know, it's his father. I mean, at least from
and Frieza, maybe.
Right? Because maybe he's just the outcast. Paragus is just the outcast Saiyan, and this is kind of like
his way to get back everybody.
Or it's just built in. It's just been naturally just built in Broly. Quite honestly, but man, this entire trailer has preemptively dropped, and it just covers so much. I mean, really, this is kind of like the entire backstory summed up in about 90 seconds or less.
Yeah, it's really crazy. We'll probably get a 25-minute version, and then the rest will be present day. But yeah, no, they're gonna give us. It's like they're gonna give us some good Planet Vegeta backdrop, man, and the planet doesn't look like crap in 2018 either, thankfully. Like, it actually looks like something. It's like there's some nice buildings, and
that should look like Alabama before, dog.
Yes, bro. It looked terrible out there.
Wow. Sorry to Alabama listeners.
Not like that. It was just very rural. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, it wasn't. It looks like they tried to.
It looked like all the niggas did is fight, but like nobody did a crop.
Right. Like it's like just no government, no nothing. Like it just looks crazy. But on here, it looks like things are at least in some type of order.
So thus far in the movie, in terms of the characters that we have confirmed, in this movie we'll have Goku, Vegeta, Broly, of course. We'll have Piccolo, who's at some point in the movie. I'm sure he's just he's either going to dialogue or something, talking to someone. We have Goten and Trunks. We have Bulma. We have Whis, Beerus, Frieza, Paragus. New characters: Baraboo, Chilai, Lemo, Kikino. We have Shenron. Shenron's there. For what reason? Not fully sure.
We don't know. Somebody probably dying. So,
or someone's just
Shenron's there.
Evil wish. I mean, yeah,
he's on the list.
He's on the list for this movie.
That's interesting.
Bardock, Gene, King Vegeta, and King Cold. This movie does not
Ginyu Force.
Oh yeah, the Ginyu Force and
Zarbon and Dodoria.
Zarbon and Dodoria. So it doesn't look like it features much of the actual Z Warriors itself. I think they'll have cameos in the movie.
I'm sure.
But I don't know if they'll be just a part of it entirely, or maybe just like they're fighting Frieza Force or something.
Right.
But this is all very interesting, especially on the heels of Super ending and Frieza's just back in control of.
It changes everything, man.
It really does.
I really feel that way. I feel like they're just plotting up for us to have a really, really those first few sagas. When Super returns, I just think they're just gonna give us so much good stuff. I think they want to just fill these holes, man. Like a lot of this stuff just hasn't been explained properly.
You think they want to? You think they're gonna give a post-credit scene of just like?
Oh, most definitely, definitely. That's just not even a question.
We'll have something on there. I just right now they're trying to make sure they have a crazy foundation to move forward, and with all this. There's too much character development, and I know I bring up Planet Sadala a lot because I just feel like it's going to tie into like whatever happens at the end of this, because you just don't know. You just don't have another planet full of Saiyans and it not tie into a movie about Saiyans. I don't know if it's going to tie in this film, but it's definitely going to tie in when the saga starts.
Especially like when like the big three of Planet Sadala are literally counterparts of Vegeta, Goku, and Broly. So like you got to have something with that.
You got to have something. It's something will fall into place with that. I don't think it's a coincidence. I don't think it's a coincidence. How many times have I said this, Mills? That Broly and what's her face look similar.
Fucking Kale, I think it is.
Yeah, Kale.
Yeah.
I am keeping that going. I promise, bro. They look like they're related, bro.
That's the only reason I don't think Broly is dying. They gotta fucking meet those two.
It's just, I think it's more just of the balance of the universe. But
I hear you. We don't know if he's gonna die.
Right.
We don't know what his position is. Is he evil just because of what he's under, or is he evil altogether?
So shout out to Herms98, Todd Frankenship on Twitter. If you're a Dragon Ball fan, I think you really got to follow him because he's just someone with like a wealth of information. He lays out a little bit of the English part of the script, and oh,
nice.
It says we have dialogue from Frieza. It's pleasure to meet you. King Vegeta says at some point the Saiyan should follow Frieza's orders. Mm-hmm. Paragus, probably with the most, out of this entire trailer, probably with the most substantial dialogue, says, "You intend to send my son Broly off to a frontier world? I shall raise Broly into the ultimate warrior and get my revenge."
Okay. Oh shit! That makes Broly the exile too.
Right.
Okay.
So I'm assuming King Vegeta is pretty much like, yo, Frieza, either he says he's too strong or Frieza says he's too strong and he's just like, get off my planet. I'm thinking it's they're keeping the story of Bardock says no, King Vegeta says he's too strong and just wants to get rid of him. Even though it's like wild, actually ironic because he's probably the guy who could beat Frieza. Mm-hmm. And it says Bardock. Bardock says there might not be much time. Frieza's plotting something. And Frieza says, isn't this the perfect opportunity to wipe out the entire planet? And Bardock closes off with survive no matter what. That's essentially probably when he sends Goku off into space.
Right.
Yeah. This says 3 Destinies clash. At the end, December 14th, 3 Destinies clash.
Yeah, I think that looks like what it's about. I mean, like I said, showing Vegeta in the incubator, then Goku, and all their stories.
All their stories are intertwined.
You see Vegeta.
All the decisions of their fathers led them to this point.
That's it.
Right.
That's it. That's it right there.
Boom. Listen, this has been an emergency pod. This is going up tonight, so we.
Oh yeah, it needs to.
We're done recording. It's 8:09 p.m. This is going up. So, this is very much so breaking news, breaking everything. This is going up tonight.
Bro, when I tell you, I woke up my motherfucking apartment this morning because of this shit. All our roommates mad as shit at me, dog.
I was so hyped.
This is big, man. Listen, X, thank you for coming through, man.
No problem. Like, I listen to y'all like every episode y'all drop. I got that shit. So.
Thank you, man.
Where can they listen to you and your podcast?
Well, we're at Looking Glass Net. That's our Twitter handle. We're on the Barbershare Network. So like Scott, Joe's Flows in Elite. I think his ass is literally on Comcast TV right now. I'm not even kidding.
Oh wow.
Like his like he look like a big ass honey bun, dog. That shit is hilarious.
Oh my god.
No slander, but like that's my nigga, dog. Oh shit, I'm bad. My bad for saying nigga. I said nigga a lot.
It's okay, man.
It's fine. It's fine on this podcast, just not on the A Show.
Speaking of the A Show, congrats on 50 episodes, dog. That shit is big. Man. Like I'm really proud of y'all. Like,
thank you. 50 weeks of anything is a arduous experience.
Yes, this is very true.
And RSPN, dog. RSPN just came back. Y'all should go listen to that shit. But yeah, we're on the Barbershire Network, everybody. This week, this is the New York Comic Con episode this week, so this is gonna be big. This is gonna be fucking huge. We're probably gonna go like 2.5 hours or some shit like that.
Boom. So right after you're gonna listen to this, make sure you stay tuned for that. Quite honestly, because this is gonna be a great week. If you're an anime fan, if you're a comic book fan, if you're just a nerd in general, this is just a great week in general. Really.
Go read Minus. Just go read Minus real
definitely
quick.
Read that shit. You got 3 months.
It'll help you.
You got 3 fucking months.
3 months to read something that takes 5 minutes. It's really not. I'll link it in the damn.
Go read it. It'll piece together a lot of things for people.
Oh my god! But this has been
the whole thing on Instagram, dog.
This has been episode 22 of the Lookout Emergency Podcast. We'll be back after. I mean, we're waiting for the movie to drop.
We'll be back, I'm sure.
But we'll be back. I'm sure there'll be another trailer that drops, and we'll get excited again.
Before we get off, have y'all seen the end of Dragon Ball Z Abridged Cell Saga?
Oh yes.
Jeff, have you watched that shit yet?
Yeah. Mills put me on.
Oh, listen, it took a while, but we got him.
It took me a few months,
but we got him there. Listen, great. I mean, fantastic.
One of these days, man. We gotta.
I'm gonna find them and try to get them on this podcast. or at least one of them. But it's just fantastic, quite honestly. I mean, if you have not watched Dragon Ball Z Abridged, they essentially took the end of the Cell Saga and made it in a full hour, maybe hour plus long adventure. In terms of just figuring stuff out, motivations, going back in time, killing Cell. It was all funny. It was all amazing. It was all original. So shout out to those.
Definitely worth the wait.
Shout out to those guys for creating just amazing original content, quite honestly.
Dog, that shit's been going since I was like in 7th grade. I am 22 now.
Wow. I don't remember how long it was, but I do remember watching the first couple episodes. So I've been following it for a very, very long time. But yeah, man, stay tuned to that. Stay tuned to RNC Radio. As we talked about, you can listen to the A Show 50. It is the longest episode. It's the most jam-packed if you're a wrestling fan. We talk about a lot of things. Shout out to Stat Guy Greg and Ernest Wilkins for guesting on the podcast. Shout out to Stokely Hathaway, Wale, and Ampavelli for dropping some drops on that. We've got RSPN this week. It's already dropped. You have it with Jeff and Mark. How was that?
It's been great, man. I'm excited we're back. I'm kind of sick and tired of Mark's voice already, but
sure. Well, guess what?
We're definitely back. Me and Mark.
It's only preseason, my guy.
Well, I know, right? And
it's been all of like 3 days.
We've been doing the gaming stuff with Amp as well. So we've been on stream with him yelling about Friday the 13th game. So
we have
Random tired of Mark right now.
Random Acts of Podcast Gaming is coming to RNC as well, and they've been doing the Twitch streams and all that other stuff. So make sure
you hop in on one of them one day because that should be hilarious. Y'all be having me dying, bro. I swear to God.
Tune into that. We have Perfect Play that's coming out on Friday. We have Late Fees that's coming out on Friday. We have Two Belts that dropped earlier this week. We have what are we missing?
Perfect Play.
Perfect Plays on Friday. Late Fees on Friday. Two Belts drop earlier in the week. We have A Show. We have that. We're just, if that's enough, that should be enough content for you,
man. Firing on cylinders.
That should be pretty much. But make sure you tune into all of those. Make sure you support this podcast. Make sure you share, you like, you hashtag. Look out RNC. You can add us on RNC Radio Live on Twitter, and you can add myself at Meelz TV, MEELZ TV. You can add Jeff at Old Newsboy. You can find X at Black Ice 392.
Yep, that's it.
Boom. You can find them right there. And listen, we'll be back next time to pretty much answer the call. Once another
hopefully sooner than later, because if so, that means something happened.
Listen, I've already given up. I've already given up watching Super Chronicles of Narnia.
Yo, can we talk about this? No, I have not watched it since episode 2. That shit.
It's a dub. It's a dub.
Man, yeah,
that shit's aggressively bad, dog.
Oh my god, it's like, you know what? They had fun. That's fine, but the movie's coming up, and that's what we're looking for.
That's all we need.
December 14th it drops. January 16th in America, apparently. I don't know, whatever. Probably earlier on the internet, even though I don't advocate for that. But Funimation, send us some
make
tickets.
It happen. Yeah, make it happen.
Let us have
send us a preview. Send us the file, dog.
We're leading the culture. We're leading the culture.
Send us the screener or something. Jeez Louise, my God. But yes, we'll be back next time.
Yeah.
Peace.
See ya.